Hello and welcome to some barbecue. Today we're making chicken and broccoli. But first we have to debone the chicken. So how I do that is I remove the legs and the wings from the carcass. After that I split the chicken between the breast and the backbone. Backbone and meat I put to the side, and I'm going to use that for broth. Then I remove the skin and I cut a little slit between the breasts, and then I just use my fingers to pry it loose. If I can't get something loose, I will just use the paring knife to kind of dislodge it from the bone. And this is more or less the way you do it. You just follow along the bones, and if something is left, a little bit is left on the bone, it doesn't really matter. It goes in the broth anyway, so it's gonna be all good in the end. You do the same thing when it comes to the thighs, the legs, or the drumsticks and the thighs. And in this case I actually took the wings and I just cut them apart and I cooked them as they were in the air fryer. So you see here that I separate the thigh from the drumstick, cut around the drumstick just to get it loose and alongside the bone, and then ply it loose. I will chop this into chunks, so doesn't really matter how it turns out anyway. I realized that getting a whole chicken cost about a fourth of getting thigh meat. That was removed from the chicken, so I figured it would be cheaper just to do it this way. It's not hard, it's just a little bit of extra work, but as I say in my intro, it's not hard to cook, it's just a matter of time. So, almost done. Okay, so I did two, that's why it's so much meat. Anyway, just cutting it into chunks while my large cast iron pan is getting up to temp. I'm gonna fry this in butter and use a simple seasoning. So it's half a stick of butter, or just over 50 grams. I let that melt and I add the chicken in. Start stirring it around, getting it up to heat. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and then about 1.5 teaspoons of Old Bay. That's all that I used. Once it was cooked through, I put it in a bowl, added some more butter to the pan, and I had cut up a whole leek into thin slices, or you can chunk it whichever way you like. To that I added 750 grams, which is about a pound and a third of frozen broccoli, teaspoon of garlic powder, and that's it. I let that cook until the broccoli had thawed, and then I added a 1/4 cup of heavy cream to this. Let it simmer for a little bit just to make everything evenly warm, and then it was time to start preparing this for the dinner table. I moved the broccoli to the side and then added back the chicken next to it just to make a pretty dish. I didn't want to make it a stir fry, so that's why I just kept them apart. I plated it similarly and put some gram padano grated on top of it. There we go, some low carb chicken and broccoli and leek. It's really nice. I'm gonna enjoy this. Thank you for watching. Bye. Oh yes, and then we had the wings, of course. I seasoned them with Rich's River Dirts, hot and spicy.